Hey, Sean Chandler here with the Daily Movie News Roundup, and it looks like maybe I should just go ahead and change the name of this show to the Daily Bad News for Batman Roundup, because once again, there is bad news for the Batman. Forbes is reporting, and keep in mind, this is Forbes. This is not superhero comic book movie news from thefuture.com. This is Forbes.com reports this. I'm hearing anything from major rewrites to a completely new script, including from scratch on the story if that's what it takes. So they also explained that it's really unclear how extensive the rewrites will be because they don't have a director in place at the time. So they don't know if he's going to come in and look at the scripts and go, it's pretty good, let's just do some swaps out of a few details about this, or if he's going to read it and go, this sucks, let's start over. At the moment, Matt Reeves is still at the top of the short list. It's even mentioned in this article once again, but it's not a done deal yet. So there's no director. There's been a kind of a whole bunch of writers working on the project over the last year, it appears. And so we don't know anything other than they're not happy with the script. And the first director, who's the star, who was the screenwriter, has dropped out of the project. And just a month ago said this. That's the idea, talking about directing, but it's not a set thing and there's no script. If it doesn't come together in a way I think is really great, I'm not going to do it. So just 1 month ago, a statement from him is released from an interview where he says, if the script is not great, I'm not going to direct it. Then a couple weeks after, he goes, no, I'm definitely going to direct it. And then a week after that, he drops out as director. Within 1 month of a statement coming out saying, I will drop out as director if the script doesn't come together, and there is no script, he drops out as the director. Based off of his public statements, one would think from that he dropped out because the script's not coming together. The week after that, rumors start to circulate that Chris Terrio had come in to do rewrites on his script and had been working on it for a couple of months now. And now this story comes out. We're throwing the script out and kind of maybe doing a page one rewrite, maybe doing a major rewrite. But no matter what, no matter how you interpret it, the script they have is not good enough. So what do you make of that? Essentially what this means for this project, the only thing that is in set, and really this is not set, is that there's going to be a movie starring Batman. So all of the background excitement we had when it was like Ben Affleck's writing and directing a Batman movie. Man, this guy won an Oscar for writing for Good Will Hunting. This guy won I guess he was maybe a producer award for directing the best picture, Argo. This is going to be amazing. All of that excitement that we had, you have to take it and go, whoop, and throw it out. You can't carry over that excitement. All we know right now is there's a Batman movie that they haven't been able to pull it together very well that's going to star Ben Affleck, which I would suggest is in question itself. But all of the man, this is so cool what they're working on, you can't borrow any of that anymore because he's not directing it. And the script he was working on that they were releasing videos of Deathstroke and announcing Joe Manganiello or whatever his name is, all that stuff, you got to scrap all of it. We're starting over from scratch. New directors coming in. We have no clue what they're going to do with the script. And Ben Affleck is being shady as can be right now as to, consistency, flakiness, all that stuff. His credibility is shot at the moment when it comes to public statements he makes. Because you can't go out on Jimmy Kimmel and say, I am directing the Batman, and then 2 weeks pull out of it without everyone going, what? I don't think I trust this guy's statements anymore. Because you can't. He's lost credibility because of what he has said and done. So that's what you need to make of this announcement. That essentially what it means is clean slate on this Batman movie. If they announce next week Matt Reeves is coming in and directing this movie, immediately I go, that's awesome news. If they had announced that at the beginning, they never once said that Ben Affleck is going to direct this movie. They just said Ben Affleck's going to star in it. He's going to work as a producer, maybe do some screenwriting on it. And Matt Reeves is directing this. I think almost all of us would go, great pick. That's awesome news. If they announce that next week, immediately I go, cool. That's great news. I have nothing negative to say about that. If the week after that they say, They're bringing in the writing team that worked on Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes with some input from Ben Affleck and then some... I go, that is great news. That's awesome. If they bring in another writer that kind of likewise, I think they've done a great job of doing spectacle as well as great drama, tragedy, which is what I would say the Planet of the Apes movies have done. They do that. Awesome. I'm pumped and excited, but right now it's just a clean slate. And if Ben Affleck starts acting normal again and making consistent statements and he doesn't come off like he's a guy that's had a terrible 2016 and felt beat down by life and he feels like he's being pressured into directing a movie and we clear all that stuff out of here and you get Matt Reeves directing it, great writer working on it, and they start making normal announcements about it. Because we got a clean slate, I will be so pumped. At this moment, though, we've had 6 weeks straight. I mean, was it every week in the year of 2017? And we're in the 5th or 6th week. We've had some sort of bad news announcement for the Batman. That is not a good track record. You should be nervous. If you're trying to spin this and say why it's not bad news and how it's going to be okay, I think you're fooling yourself. If you have a movie that goes from having a writer and director that has a set, or not necessarily a set release date, but pretty clearly coming out in 2018, and they're putting out press pictures of casting informations and pictures of Deathstroke, and then suddenly we don't have a script and we don't have a director, that's really bad. Especially when it happens in such a shady way as an interview with Ben Affleck, where he says that he might not do it, then a week later says he's going to do it, and then he drops out, and then it turns out we don't have a script as well. You should be nervous. But you should also view it as a clean slate. So when there's good news, hopefully next week, they announce Matt Reeves, and this whole string of bad videos like this one ends. And for the next year and a half, 2 years, I just make totally pumped announcements about, sweet, man, the Batman's going to be awesome. It's got this guy that worked on these movies I love. You should go, if you haven't watched those Apes movies, go watch them. Get pumped and excited. And hopefully, anyway, that's getting speculation as to announcements that have been made. So anyway, that's just one man's opinion. I want it to be great, but I can't in any way spin any of these announcements as good. They're bad news. We got a clean slate. Hopefully starting next week, the good starts again. But what do you think? Tell me in the comments section. What's your take on it? I mean, does this really feel like this thing fell apart? Not just that it fell apart, but the way that they announced all of this feels like they just fumbled all of it. That kind of made them lose credibility. Ben Affleck clearly has lost credibility. What's your take on all that? Let's have a great conversation about that down below. If you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. Like I said before, it turns out I've got a daily show where I talk about the Batman. At least that's what it feels like because they keep having these bad announcements. But I have a daily movie news roundup show where I talk about all kinds of stuff. Yesterday I was talking about how there's a Star Wars spoof from the guys that did Epic Movie and Meet the Spartans. Not pumped about that one either. But yeah, just trying to talk about the daily movie news, what's interesting to me, do some trailer reactions from time to time. I also do 3 or 4 movie reviews each week, and then I have a live show on Sundays where I got a chat board, interact back and forth with you guys, because I don't want to just talk about movies, I want to talk about movies with you, and thank you for watching.